right. Welcome to the Ultra High Net Worth Clients Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Broadhead. We started this podcast as a way to create a central resource of the best financial advisor practice growing tips shared by the most outstanding advisors in the industry, of which our guest today is definitely one. These outstanding financial advisors agree to be on the show and provide a ton of value for free, all in the hopes that our audience might learn from their words. My father was a financial advisor, and advisors are the main clients we serve. So my marketing agency's mission is to help every FA grow their business in an effort to help the world become more financially secure. Today, we have the rare pleasure of talking with an incredible financial advisor, Bryan Montemurro. Bryan, can you
Thanks.
introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you?
Sure. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me. So my name's Bryan Montemurro. I've been in financial services in some form or fashion since I was 17 years old. Got my
Whoa,
start.
10 whole years, Bryan?
Yeah, right. I wish. So, I use the term financial services pretty loosely. I mean, I was a bank teller at one point in time, but when I got into the business per se, when I was working in my MBA back in 2003, I sat at a front desk at an A.G. Edwards office. I was dropping tickets. I was filing. I saw and learned the business at the very, very beginning from kind of the data entry portion, answering the telephone calls, but became introduced to the work that advisors were doing at that point in time. In 2005, finished my degree, went to work for Valak, and spent the next 15 years of my career working with Valak, and had the opportunity to work with school teachers, with nurses, and other individuals in an environment, helping them save, plan, get involved, get enrolled in their 403B, their 457 plans, making sure that this demographic of people had a resource for financial education, had a resource for help to really make sure they're on track to reach their retirement goals. Did this until about 2014. In 2014, joined the management team at AIG, began coaching, training, mentoring advisors, helping them be successful and help individuals along the same path that I did. And then at the same point in time, working with plan sponsors, making sure plan sponsors understood the benefits of individuals participating in their employer plan. 2020, right during COVID, had a switch in roles, left AIG, and joined the practice at Two West Advisors. I've been here about 5 years now, and in that time, I've had the opportunity to join this team, develop a financial wellness program that really allowed us to take financial planning to the masses. Maybe a participant in one of the plans we serve didn't have the opportunity for one-on-one advice from a CFP. So we built a program in order to provide that to every person, no matter their wealth level. So that's been going on about 5 years now. During that same point in time, shared with the team how to provide advanced financial planning resources, tools, and ultimately help transition retirement plan participants into wealth management clients. And so now today, I lead up our individual wealth practice.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay. You were very busy, my friend. That's really interesting about your ability to serve any wealth level. That to me, like a lot of advisors that we have on the show or that I talk to about marketing, they're like, oh, our minimum is 500 or a million or 10 million or whatever their minimum is, and and then we're sort of talking about how, like, a lot of folks who will be there soon are not there now.
Sure.
And it's like you're kind of cutting off a lot of opportunity there. well, it sounds like the idea behind creating this ability to serve basically any asset level, one, to help everyone, to help anyone and everyone, and
Sure.
two, to capture those on the rise and get opportunities that perhaps other advisors are not taking advantage of.
Well, I think you're spot on there. First and foremost, True West is started as a retirement plan shop. So what I mean by that is our client historically has been employers who are providing a 401k or a 403b to their to their employees. So historically speaking, participants inside of 401k plans haven't really had a resource for financial guidance, financial education. And so part of the financial wellness initiative that we started several years back was designed to work with participants, helping them make sure that they're on track to retirement. But also we have the ability to provide guidance in other aspects of financial planning, help develop strategies to get out of debt. Do you have enough life insurance? And some basic estate planning stuff. So we've served many a folk by providing ongoing financial education to all. And in doing so, we've found tremendous opportunities in increasing our wealth client or increasing our number of wealth clients and ultimately the AUM that goes along with that. Now, and I'll expand just a bit further is, our menu of services for an individual who does become a wealth client, it is based on the AUM that they have, the level of service that we can feasibly provide. But our ability to provide financial education to a participant in a 401k plan, that's just part of the benefit of us working with that employer. It's part of the service, the value that we bring to the employer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. So your team predominantly works with employers are your main clients?
Yeah.
Am I
So
understanding that correctly?
we have 100 retirement plan clients right now. Maybe it's a little bit more than that. But our fastest growing part of our business is our wealth division, is our individual wealth division. As we identify clients 55, 60, those that are getting closer to retirement, looking to land that airplane of their working career, as we find more folks that need that more advanced planning help, the need to build an income strategy, that's been the fastest growing area. But yeah, to date, our firm is a retirement plan shop. So our primary clients are employers.
Okay. And is the growth of the individual wealth service, is that driven by the folks within those employer accounts, or is it from
It
somewhere else?
absolutely is. So
Okay.
the vast majority of our new clients are individuals who have a level of familiarity with us through the financial guidance we've given through their employer for years and years and years. So that's the vast majority of how we gain new clients is through our relationship with their employer.
Gotcha. Is there and I'm sure it's very organic and just relationship based, and just like, oh yeah, no, I know Bryan, he's awesome. Is
There's
there any specific strategies employed to encourage that next step in the relationship?
Yeah, I think there is, and it all boils down to financial planning. That's been the heart and soul of our engagement with individuals. So we, as part of our communication to all the participants in the plans that we serve, part of that education is we've built a page of resources on our website that gives every person the ability to build their own financial plan within 5 minutes. So, this is a pretty common occurrence is a participant in one of our plans will either get one of our monthly newsletters, they'll attend one of our workshops, or something they're like, get a communication from us with an invitation to complete their own 5-minute financial plan. Whenever somebody does that, one of our CFPs will review that 5-minute financial plan, personally send it to the individual, and then invite them to schedule a one-on-one coaching session. And sometimes we find folks need more comprehensive help than what that high-level financial plan does. And that's when they're referred to our wealth team to take a much deeper dive. Yeah.
Nice.
Now,
yeah.
one thing I'll add to this, and I've not got to yet, is we also have a network of advisors that we partner with, and we provide that same level of fiduciary guidance to their retirement plans. So we have some advisors that we work with that they're pure wealth advisors. They don't know the retirement plan business. So they'll bring us on board to serve as the advisor to that retirement plan, but they'll gain the benefit of access to the participants in those plans. So this has been a advisor network that we've built over the past 5-6 years now. So we do what
Nice.
we do what we do for us, but we have the ability to do it for others as well.
Mm-hmm. Great. Any specific strategies employed to build that advisor network?
I hate to tell you, that's a different team other than me. I'm not involved in that side of the business.
Yeah.
What one thing I'll share, and this was maybe answering your question from a minute ago, was at the core, no matter how big of a pond you have to fish in, this is still a one-on-one relationship-based business. I have a brand new client that just became a wealth client about 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this is a woman I've met from a 15-minute coaching session back in 2021. And she scheduled the coaching session on her own. She just wanted to make sure if she was in the ballpark for retirement. And then every year thereafter, she'd schedule another 15-minute session till finally this year she said, "Bryan, I'm retiring now." And at that point in time, I knew that this is probably time we take things deeper to, number one, make sure that we're not going to run out of money. And number two, start to build an income plan for what to do with those assets that she had inside of her 401k that she really didn't know what to do with. How do you build income from this bucket of money? And that's where we took the ball and ran with it. And ultimately, that's how she became a wealth client.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You you planted a seed there that grew into a mighty oak, it sounds like.
So, that's the interesting thing is, it's getting to know participants in the plan and understanding they may not be a wealth client today, but likely the continued communication, the continued familiarity, and building that relationship over a period of time at the right point in time in the future, it's a natural transition for them to become a wealth client.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It seems, I obviously work with a lot of advisors from a marketing standpoint, and the the problem to solve is going from stranger to friend, trusted confidant.
Absolutely.
That is the problem that all advisors are faced with, and sometimes that takes 30 minutes, and sometimes it takes 3 years.
That's right. Well, I think one piece that allows us to get on base with participants is that effectively a person's employer has vetted us. They go,
Mm-hmm.
the process to hire a retirement plan advisor typically involves an RFP. It's typically a very involved process. So by nature of us communicating with participants in these plans, the employer's done a lot of the really hard work that a person off the street that didn't have that relationship, an advisor off the street that didn't have that relationship, they have a lot of those hurdles to work through. But by working through the employer, we get to start with some credibility right away.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And that's such a powerful way to get the relationship started. Um, how is your team finding these employer clients and building those relationships? And what do those employers look like?
Sure. So I would say, I'm going to give my best guess there because that's a different team than I'm on.
Mm,
I'm on the wealth, not the retirement plan team. But so what we've done as a firm, one, we've built a fantastic consortium through the NAIA. So we built a consortium for NAIA schools that they can move their plan and plug in and take advantage of all the pricing that we've built and negotiated with TIAA. So you may have a NAIA college that has one of the older, more traditional TIAA products, and they can effectively move them into the NAIA consortium, stay with TIAA, and take advantage of our negotiated pricing. Now, at this point in time, we've accumulated 1.2, 1.4 billion with TIAAs. We have some buying power that we're able to negotiate and really cut the cost for the employer as well as participants inside of these plans. And that's one way in which we acquire new clients on our retirement plan team. The other piece is it's the old fashioned networking. I mean that's the biggest is it's who you know and referrals from existing retirement plan clients.
hmm
Mhm.
Okay, got it. So you predominantly just interface with clients directly. That's
Yeah. So
gotcha.
so for my me individually, I operate more as a traditional wealth advisor. Uh,
hmm
I get clients that are, or I get prospects or leads, what have you, that are referred to me from our financial coaching team. Those our financial coaches are individuals who are meeting with plan participants. So if
hmm
there's a more complex or advanced planning opportunity or a potential wealth client, that's referred to me from the team.
hmm
Mhm.
Awesome, awesome. This is a very beautiful system you all have put together. I'm
Yeah,
intrigued by it. Yeah.
I think that the work this team's done is really, really impressive in how we've built it. And frankly, to me, it's similar to how I worked with years and years ago with Valak was, meeting with plan participants and finding opportunities to make them wealth clients.
hmm
Mhm.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome. Cool. So I want to take a step back and sort of dig into your history in
sure.
wealth management. So you mentioned you started at 17, 10 short years ago. I'm just kidding. As a bank teller,
Yeah.
and it sounds like there was some wealth managers at the bank. What was it about them that so captured you that inspired you to go down that path?
I think at that point in time, especially when I was at AG Edwards, even after the bank, I found the ability to and I admired the ability of the people I worked with, but to help build relationships with individuals and help them navigate through what seemed like complicated discussions surrounding money. Many of us have complicated relationships with money, now, myself included. But being able to help somebody understand concepts that seem difficult, that seem intimidating, and make a person feel comfortable in doing so. I mean, heck, when I was at Bank of America, I was a bank teller. I had access to my account online every day, but was nervous as could be to look at it, which is absolutely bonkers. But it's that ability to help an individual understand something that's seemingly complex. But at the end of that, it's seeing that light bulb moment and the weight lift off their back of, oh, okay, I get it. I'm going to be fine. Or, oh, okay, I get it. Here's what I need to do to get better.
Okay, awesome. So just it's a way to like give back, help help folks understand these complicated, scary
Yeah,
concepts that we all
absolutely.
struggle with. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just building relationships, it's caring for people, and really a strong desire to help people with stuff that's seemingly complex.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's wealth and health, those are two of the three, maybe two of
Sure.
the two most
Yeah.
important things that there are.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. So the more you can help folks
Mhm.
worry less about one, probably the better their health will be as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Um so throughout your career, did you notice any similarities among clients, any specific type of client that you kind of were magnetized to, that was you found yourself working with, any sort of niches?
I wouldn't say a traditional niche of clients, but what I find myself working with now, more so than ever, is a category of client I would call, and I've heard called, the worried well. This is a
Mm.
client
Hmm.
who may have 2, 3, $4 million, maybe more, and are scared to death that they're going to run out.
my
And
my mom my mom
no matter the calculations that you do, no matter how much you show them that they're gonna be fine, even if they did something stupid, they'd be fine. The worried well, I think it's a continuous talking them off the ledge type of situation. I do really well in that, just because I have the ability just to hear all of their, hear them out in their thought process. Um,
Mhm.
Understanding that some of their reasoning's not logical, purely emotional, and just allowing them to get that out. But the worried well, the other area, the other niche that has kind of just been prevalent throughout my career is individuals with state pensions. So individuals
Mhm.
that may have been educators or government employees in some form or fashion. I've been forced to learn how to calculate these pensions by hand, know the ins and outs of the pensions. And at this point, really, if you give me a few basics, we can talk through most pensions, whether it's public or private. But it's just kind of been the nature of the first half of my career was folks in the nonprofit government sector. So pensions have been kind of they've been kind of a thing that I've had to work through. And so now, in where I am today, if I come across the pension, many advisors just don't understand the mechanics, what's going on in the engine room there, where I'm kind of, okay, this makes sense to me.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And I'm sure there's some overlap of the worried well and
Oh yeah.
pension.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think for you're spot on there. For the worried well with a pension, they've got it made. I mean, they have plenty of income to cover their essential needs. They could afford the vacation home if they wanted.
hmm Yeah. I love that term worried well. That's great, man. You need to trademark that
I
and
stole
get
it.
the URL.
I
Okay.
stole it.
Well, you made it up as far as I know.
Sure, good enough.
Yeah, yeah. I could see that working very well in a marketing campaign.
Sure.
But as far, for listeners who have worried well clients or even are the worried well,
Yeah.
are there any specific strategies you use to assuage their fears?
There's a few. I think the first one is the hardest yet the easiest for many advisors that I know is number one, just listen to clients. Just
Mhm.
hear them out, let them talk it out, no matter how emotional and possibly irrational. Just hear them out. Just let them talk it out. The other piece of that, and one thing that I've used successfully is making sure that we have guaranteed income to cover the essential expenses in their life, i.e., pensions, Social Security, and using annuities, when able. So our firm as an REA, we have we have access to commission-free annuities. We've partnered with a fantastic firm, DPL, that gives us access to commission-free annuities. So in order to provide our clients guaranteed income, we can do so in a commission-free environment. And that's been tremendous opportunity to help those worried well, make sure that no matter what happens, there's going to be income there to pay for those must-haves. And when we can couple listening with some guaranteed income, that quells a lot of problems and
Mhm.
concerns. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what do the worried well do with all that energy that they have that they were used to use for worrying?
So, I mean, some of them find new things to worry about.
Okay.
I, I would say when the worried well group, even after we deploy a guaranteed income strategy, it takes a year or so for it to really sink in that I'm going to be okay. And at the end of that, you get that same light bulb, like a weight's been lifted off their back feeling. And the dynamic of the relationship changes. I mean, you get the ability to give your clients permission to spend more money, and that's a good feeling.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
that does sound fun. Um, Awesome, awesome. So, I know we had a previous call where we discussed some of your background, and it sounds like you have coached other advisors. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
during I joined during in 2014. I was promoted or what have you to the assistant vice president or the assistant district vice president with VALIC over the Kansas City district. So I was responsible for coaching, training, mentoring 40 advisors in a
Wow.
four-state area in Kansas, Missouri, Nebraska. Um, and this was at the time a real passion for me because I had got to the point in time where, working with clients just kind of seemed natural. I've joked with advisors in the past. I got to the point where I could see the matrix, meaning the client
Whoa.
said this, I say this, and everything goes the way I want it to go. Um, and it was being able to coach advisors to do that same thing. Um, it was really just personally satisfying to me.
hmm
Mhm.
Wow.
And so,
Yeah. Go ahead.
and we're beginning that again as we continue to add. wealth advisors to our team here at Two West, I'm getting that opportunity to do that again, which I really
Mhm.
like to do.
Wow, wow. Any low-hanging fruit or seemingly small changes that can deliver major impacts in terms of coaching up advisors that you could share?
So what one of the team members here I'm doing that coaching with now is be more conversational in every aspect of your relationship with a client. You're not a robot. You're not filling out a worksheet. You're actually talking to a person. So be conversational. Don't be technical. Don't be jargony. Um, and mostly listen. So often do I see new advisors who are so smart and so eager to tell somebody everything they know. They talk on top of clients, but don't take any time to actually listen and really
Mm,
deeply listen for what a client's saying, um, and maybe what they're meaning behind what they're saying. So
mhm.
that's that I say it's the easy stuff. It might not be.
Yeah. Right. It sounds like in addition to being an advisor coach, you could be a relationship coach as well, my friend.
So I've spent few years in a therapist's office. I've learned a few things.
Amen. I have as well, and I feel like that's you learn some of the most important things in life
Absolutely.
sometimes in that office.
Absolutely.
Um awesome. So before we hit record, you were telling me about your team conducts a monthly webinar series and
Yeah.
just the whole marketing machine that went into it. I thought was just amazing. Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned, we have 100 retirement plan clients, give or take. But inside of those 100 retirement plan clients is about 30,000, 35,000 individual participants, employees of the employers that we serve. So on a monthly basis, we send 2 to 3 emails to all 30 some odd thousand participants in these plans. And at the very beginning of the month, we post our monthly workshop, our monthly newsletter. Our newsletter introduces our workshop topic for the month. And that topic is, income planning. We've had folks from Social Security. We've had Medicare advisors come on. We had the team from SoFi a couple of years ago. But we have either guest speakers or presentations that a member of our team will do on a different financial topic. Also in our newsletter, some helpful tips, tricks on how to get your house financially right. Um, our newsletter is designed to speak to whomever it's addressing at whatever level they are. We have an advanced planning section, a basics, and then a monthly checklist. So this has been really key to communicating with participants in the plans, as well as brand recognition, building exposure, building familiarity with the participants. So when it's time for and more advanced planning need, they already know who we are. So as I mentioned, then after that, we have reminders for our workshops. Our workshops are consistently completed on the third Wednesday of each month. Um, I back when I first started with the team, I would do all of them. This year, I've only done two. So but
Mm,
this is really high quality content that we either curate ourselves or bring in guest speakers. In this, we send out several emails to 30 some odd thousand people. We typically get a registration rate of about 200 people. And then of those, usually 60 to 60-ish sign up for those sessions. And then we'll send a thank you email after each session, inviting them to participate or sign up for a one-on-one coaching session with a member of our coaching team. Our coaches are CFPs. They have experience helping individuals. And we talk to folks more than just retirement. If they have a divorce, they have debt, dysfunction, disability, what have you, we provide financial education for whatever the topic is that individual needs help with. Even going a step further, we've built part of our education program. We've built a financial resource page on 2westadvisors.com where it gives an individual the access to a number of financial calculators, our old workshops that we hosted, and also our 5-minute financial plan. Our 5-minute financial plan is a tool that we built that allows a person to get a very high level overview of, are they on track for retirement, taking into consideration Social Security. It takes just a couple of minutes to complete, but it's a good foot in the door of, how far, how close to being on track am I? After a person completes that 5-minute financial plan, we then, each one of our CFPs will send that out to the participant and then invite them to a one-on-one coaching session to dive into it further.
Mm-hmm.
So we try to provide ample resources to participants in our plan to make sure they have the tools they need to live the life they want in retirement.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. What time are these webinars, and are there, like, what time of day? And are there any specific topics that seem to be moving the needle with this audience more than others?
Absolutely. So in our registration, on our registration page at 2westadvisors.com, there's a place to register, but our workshops are scheduled at 3 p.m. Central Time on the third Wednesday of the month. And topics, I would say the most popular topic year to date was Medicare. So we had, I'm not sure exactly what the number of attendees were. I just know it was the highest that we've had year to date. The second highest was a session I did last month on income creation, strategies for building income in retirement. I recall Social Security being another highly attended one. The November session is going to be on tax. And then the December session is going to be what to do within the last 10 years of retirement. So some good stuff to come along. And we're in the process of building next year's calendar right now.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Great. Well, Bryan, this has been awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing your time and wisdom with us. This is amazing. So Bryan, I have one final question for you. It is an open-ended question. You can take it in any direction that you like. And the question is, what are you working towards?
Great question. So
Thank you.
I have personal goals for myself that I'm working toward. But I think as a firm, it is building deeper, stronger relationships with the participants that we have today, and expanding our footprint as a whole. As I mentioned earlier, we have relationships with a network of advisors all across the country that plug into us to take advantage of our ability to provide retirement plan advisor services to their clients. That's the big picture stuff. Me, I'm working towards being a better advisor to the clients that I have, and growing growing the number of households that I serve, maybe doubling in size for me in the next couple of years.
Awesome. That's great. And I mean, you know your stuff, so you're definitely on the road to doing that, and you're a good listener as well. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Where can our audience find out more about you?
Sure. So I would say for me personally, linkedin.com/Bryan Montemurro. But more importantly, find out about our team at twowestadvisors.com. And that'll tell you how we work with other advisors. You can see the tools that we make available to participants in the plan, and see how our workshops and everything like that. But I would say twowestadvisors.com talks a lot about our team and how we work with individuals.
Awesome. Awesome. We'll be sure to link to that in the show notes.
Sure.
Bryan, thank you so much for taking the time, man. This was even better than anticipated. This was great, man.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. 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 And to all our listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in, and keep on growing out there, everybody. See ya.